Yo, mic test. We're good. We're good. Anybody good?
Mic test.
Minus E.
Okay. So, hello guys. What's up? Before we start watching King Thor gets the power cosmic. So, what's up, guys? What's up with you? How are you guys?
I feel
Fine,
great.
fine, fine.
That's good. Is it recording the Christophe?
Yep, it is on YouTube. Hello, everybody.
Okay. Welcome to the comics take, everybody. So, we're here to watch our reactions on King Thor gets the power cosmic. Well, I'm not here to spoil anything, so let's just go for the ride. Get your snacks. Yeah, let's do it.
What's up, my comic comrades? We are back, but first and foremost, we hope that everyone had a happy holiday season. I know I had a nice lazy 2 weeks off, hanging with friends and family, playing Ultimate Alliance 3, and watching TV and movies. But I gotta say, it's nice to be back with our first episode of 2020. Speaking of 2020, Marvel's golden boy, Donny Cates, literally kicked off the new year on January 1 with his brand new Thor title. And it's been getting a ton of buzz. It's also sure to tie in somehow with his Venom and Carnage books, and maybe build out even more than that. But with Thor 1 hitting the comic stands, we thought it would be fitting to run down the first issue and see what Marvel and Donny Cates has in store for the God of Thunder after Jason Aaron's amazing Thor run. Needless to say, there's about Thor issue 1, so you've been warned. Ready? Issue 1 starts off with several pages of Mjolnir flying through the 10 realms. We literally see it flying through the heavens of Vanaheim, the skies of Alfheim, and the dark fields of Nidavellir, and even the hottest pits of damnation. All before making its way to Earth, breaking through the atmosphere, heading for Manhattan, and ultimately going right through the head of a giant monster and helping the Avengers stomp out a win before making a crater in the ground. We then see Iron Man smile and ask if anyone has a Sharpie. Then, on the very next page, we see it was none other than Thor himself who threw his freaking hammer from Asgard to Earth to help out his friends. He then tells Sif, "Did you see that? All 10 realms, one throw. Odin himself could not make that." To which she says, "Yes, Thor, it was a very nice shot." And when Thor asks if there's anything else in the realms that require his attention, like a frost giant that needs smiting, she says, "The Bifrost is now under my protection, and I'm afraid your smiting days are over." Now keep in mind, the whole time he's talking to Lady Sif about this, he's holding his arm out waiting for Mjolnir to return. And when it finally does, we find out what Stark needed the Sharpie for, as he wrote on Thor's hammer saying, "Nice shot, enjoy your retirement." Because if you didn't know, after the events of War of the Realms, Thor is now the king of Asgard, aka All-Father Thor. We then see Thor go sit down on his new throne looking kind of tired. After this, Loki shows up and Thor asks him, "Tell me, King Loki, Lord of the Frost Giants, is it no longer customary to bow to a foreign king?" It was a clever way of saying, "Bow to me, brother." But after this, Loki points out to Thor that he's getting tired when he sees Thor pick up his hammer and says, "Is it getting heavier then?" Of course, Thor shrugs it off and then chucks his hammer at Loki's face before stopping it right before it smashes his head like a watermelon, which Loki says, "How are you doing this?" And Thor replies, "I'm the All-Father now, little brother, clothed in the power that comes with the title. You do well to remember that." Thor then steps outside alone and says, "Loki is often wrong about a great many things, but today he was right. As the new king of Asgard, I have indeed felt the weight of my mighty Mjolnir growing." As Thor is talking to himself and thinking about the speech he has to give to his people later on, out of nowhere, Galactus crashes down in the middle of Asgard. Of course, this pisses off Thor and he starts to attack him, being like, "Galactus, you dare come here?" as he starts striking him with lightning. But Galactus is like, "Stop, I came for help. You're the only one who can. The Star Plague, the Great Black Winter, it's coming." And then Galactus passes out. Thor then has his ravens scour the galaxy to find Galactus's heralds and bring them to him. He goes on to thank them for answering his call and then says, "Now, what in the damn hell is a star plague?" And as he asks this question, Silver Surfer phases through the wall saying, "It's the end of everything." Surfer then asks Thor, "How much do you know about the birth of Galactus? How he came to be what he is now?" Cosmic Ghost Rider then interrupted saying, "He was an explorer of the galaxy before ours. Galen of the planet Ta. Some unknown cataclysm killed his universe and he was the sole survivor. He was transformed into," and Surfer interrupts, "not unknown, the Star Plague, the Blight Storm, the Rot Blizzard, Many names, but one truth is it's the one true end, the Black Winter. So Thor is like, okay, great. How do we stop it? And Surfer says, we do not. The Black Winter killed the universe before ours, Thor. As Galactus devours worlds, the winter comes for realities. However, Galactus is the only one who's ever survived the winter, so he must be the one to face it again. But first, he must feed. In the time as his herald, I gained knowledge of 5 very special planets, worlds whose rare and unique energies would give Galactus powers beyond imagination. I've hidden these worlds from him for a very, very long time, until now, because he's our only chance to beat this thing. After which, Surfer volunteers to be Galactus's herald on the journey, and Thor says, aye, but you will not go alone. Thor then gathers an army, and along with several of Galactus's heralds, and they march toward Galactus. Thor then says, Galactus, kneel, to which he does. Surfer says, I could feel you in my head. Am I to assume you know of the plan, of the truth? Galactus replies, I do, Surfer. Surfer then tells Galactus Thor has graciously agreed to accompany us with his battalion. Shall we begin? And Galactus says, no. He then says, the Black Winter. When you gaze into it, you see the form of your own true death. I have gazed into it twice now. When I was Galen, I watched my universe die before my eyes, and I saw nothing. I have not yet seen the cosmic wonders I know today. So it appeared to me as a great blackness, a void, as I could not fathom such things with a mortal mind. But then I saw it again. Do you know what I saw then, Norin? What I saw, as in the embodiment of my one true death, I saw Thor. He then starts blasting Thor with the power cosmic, and then says, I did not come upon Asgard. I did not come here for asylum. If you are to be my end, Thunder God, then we will kill the Black Winter together. Then when we are done, I would have you close to me, that I may have words with thee. Until then, rise, Herald of Thunder, and the issue ends with this awesome shot. That's right, Thor just became Galactus' newest herald, and probably the strongest Avenger, or possibly the strongest hero in Marvel. I mean, he is now All-Father Thor imbued with the power cosmic. That's just downright insane. I'm so very curious to see where this goes from here. My guess is the Black Winter is going to have something to do with Null, as I'm sure Donny Cates is going to want to continue to tie all his Marvel books together in one way or another. So I'm definitely going to be adding Thor to my poll list. First up for the week of the 15th, we have Flash issue 86. The Flash battles Captain Cold for the last time. Rogues reign in a brutal battle for the power over Central City.
That was a good storyline. Read it before. Watch it again.
You will watch it again?
No, it's my third time watching this. So yeah.
Oh, it's your third time watching this?
Yes.
So guys, what are your thoughts on the first issue?
Yeah, pretty good. Yeah.
Christophe?
So like, Thor is the herald of Galactus. Am I correct?
The new herald, yeah,
Oh,
he
yeah.
became the new herald. So he became one of the most powerful beings, Marvel characters on Earth, in the comics after getting this power. So this ends issue 1. Let's go to issue number 2.
Let's do it.
Before a world of heroes and villains,
Black Adam.
one power ruled it all. Black Adam.
Heroes don't kill people. Well, I do.
Pahit-pahit, bitin sa akin. Pag nawala ang init, may visa pa ba? Panalo ako sa fastest alaksan. Alaksan FR. Diretsong aksyon, kaya tapos ang sakit na katawan. Isang alaksan, tapos ang laban.
Unilab yan.
What is up, my comic comrades? As you can see, once again, we are right back here in my man cave because, like many of you, we are trying to stop the spread of COVID-19 by locking down in our houses. Hopefully that all passes within the next couple of weeks here, but until then, the whole Variant team and myself hope you all are staying safe and healthy during these very trying times. But now let's do what we do best here on the channel, and that's talk about some comic books. Easily one of my favorite titles coming out every month as of recent is Donny Cates' Thor. We already covered issue 1 of this awesome series, but today we're going to cover issues 2 through 4 because some pretty crazy stuff has been going down. With that said, today there's going to be spoilers galore for issues 1 through 4 of Thor. With that out of the way, let's start talking about the God of Thunder. Issue 2 opens up with a look at what will happen when the Black Winter comes, with narration saying, what will you do when the end comes? When your past and your future cease to be. For the entirety of who you are and who you will ever be becomes moot. Your hands and hope that your defenders will arrive. God, a God of emerald light, a God of dark perhaps, a God of the ocean, of speed, of strength. All of course alluding to the DC universe. Originally, I thought because of the mention of the crossover in the Doomsday Clock finale, and because of the Justice League's ambiguous yet clear appearance in this recent issue of Thor, that we were in fact gonna get a Marvel DC crossover sometime pretty soon. But my boy Tom from Comic Tom 101, if you guys haven't checked out his channel, be sure to do so. I'm gonna put a link in the description, was able to get an interview with Donny Cates at this past C2E2. And Cates told him that he just put that Justice League reference in the issue as a way for him to mess with DC and the editorial, being like, yeah, even the DC universe and its heroes are gonna die because of the Black Winter. So maybe a crossover isn't planned just yet, but hey, a man can dream. Anyway, after the first few pages of Cates messing with DC, we see Thor, King of Asgard and Thunder, and now the Burning Herald of Galactus. Thor is taking Galactus to 5 planets that have been hidden from him all these years, so that he may feast on them and hopefully gain enough power to defeat the Black Winter. They arrive at the first planet, but Thor says this planet is inhabited with life. Let us move on to the next one. Surely the other 4 will not be like this. But Galactus says no, I will need the power of all 5 planets to survive the onslaught of the Star Plague and or the Black Winter. He then says to Thor, though you may keep the coordinates locked away from me, know that I am the only thing that stands between universal life and death. But Thor replies, and I stand between you and this planet. You are weak and hungry. Would you like to see which of us would fall first? Galactus then says, I gave you the power you now wield, Thor. I can take it away. Thor replies once again, you know nothing of the power I wield, and then chucks his hammer straight through Galactus's hand, taking off 2 of his fingers. Galactus then says, you dare strike Galactus? You exist solely because the grace I have given, and the leash you tug against. Or have you forgotten who you serve, little god? Thor replies, nay, Asgard, and then continues to throw his hammer through Galactus, this time straight through his freaking kneecap, while saying, I will tell you this once, Galactus, though you have named me herald in title and power, I remain a king and a god, and I shall not suffer threats nor instruction from you. As he's saying this, the inhabitants of the planet start attacking Thor as they see him as a threat. So Galactus uses this opportunity to start devouring the world. At which point Thor yells out, Sif! So Lady Sif uses the Bifrost to bring as many of the inhabitants over to Asgard as she can. When all said and done, this does power up Galactus, but he's still like, power, need more power. And as he's powering up all Super Saiyan style, Thor is like, Galactus, enough, you'll kill us both. Thor then tells Galactus, I made those people a promise that they would return home one day. You didn't have to kill this world. Galactus says it was necessary, as is this. And as he raises his hand to fire at Thor, he gets bombarded with an onslaught of missile fire. And on the final page of the issue, we see it's Beta Ray Bill saying, Thor, I need to speak with your master. Please, brother, do not make me go through you. This brings us to issue 3, where Beta Ray Bill reiterates once more, please, brother, do not make me go through you. And Thor responds, I'm sorry, Bill, through is the only way. Bill says, I know this is not you, brother, and I will have my vengeance on Galactus for corrupting your honor. Bill then charges Thor with Stormbreaker, but Thor literally just smacks him away with the back of his left hand. Thor then says, brother, stay down. I possess the power of a herald of Galactus, as well as the powers befit of the Allfather of Asgard, all added to my own. In the past, you and I have fought and been equal. This will not be that. Can I just pause for a second? Because that is some of the most badass dialogue I've read in recent years in a comic book. Dude straight up said, you and I have fought in the past and have been equal. This will not be that. I see ya. Anyway, Bill replies, I am not going anywhere until I free you of this madness. And Thor says, very well, while lifting his hammer and depowering himself, saying, I am still me, brother. I have chosen this path. I am slave to no one. As he says this, though, Galactus blasts him from behind, saying, you think yourself above my control, little god? The power cosmic is mine alone to wield. You are my herald. I gave you this power. You belong to me. Thor replies, nay, I took your power. You took nothing from me. I have agreed to help you and will honor my word, but be mindful of your tongue with me. And as the two are fighting, Bill says, your word, Thor? Traitor, and smashes Thor across the face with Stormbreaker. Bill goes on to say, you chose this in your right mind? You chose to aid this monster? Look me in the eyes and answer me this, brother. How can you still lift that hammer? And Thor replies, let me show you, and starts attacking Bill. Thor and Bill then start having an epic fight while Thor is trying to explain to Bill the situation. But it doesn't work, so Thor gets fed up and chucks Mjolnir at Bill's face. But Bill is able to catch it right before it hits him. Thor then says, Bill, let it go. I will take your arm with it if I must. There is no power in the universe strong enough to stop my hammer once called to my hand. But Bill refuses to let it go. So Thor says once again, let it go. It will kill you. And Bill says, never. You do not deserve it. You are not worthy. This pisses Thor off, so he says, fine, I'll use another, and calls Stormbreaker to him, and then jumps in the air with it towards Bill, swinging it down on top of Mjolnir, shattering Stormbreaker into 1,000 pieces, which is a dope moment and really pushes the point across of how strong Thor is now, with the power cosmic, the All-Father power, and his power all combined. Thor then says, I told you, I warned you. Do you believe me now? Will you relent? Will you yield? Please, brother. But Bill, of course, says, I am not your brother. To which Thor replies, damn you. And as he's about to bring the hammer down, literally on Bill, Sif shows up via the Bifrost saying, if you wish to continue this insanity, then I am truly sorry, Thor. Through is the only way, as she defends Bill. And that's the final page of issue 3, which is one hell of a cliffhanger. But luckily for us, issue 4 was just released, so let's talk about that one. At the beginning of issue 4, Thor says, Sif, think very carefully about how you proceed. I am your king, and there's only so much I will tolerate from you. She says, save your breath. I am not afraid of you. I am not going to fight you, Thor. Thor replies, you are the guardian of the Bifrost. You have abandoned your post. She interrupts him saying, you are right. I am. And I'm taking Bill back to Asgard under my protection. Do as you must. Thor says, that is enough, Sif. I will not take orders from you or from anyone. Now stand aside, or, and she interrupts him again saying, or what? So Thor throws Mjolnir at her, but she slams her sword down at the same time to use the Bifrost to teleport it away before it could hit her and Bill. She then tells Thor, I sent it to a place where no man may wield it. We've had enough of that for one day, don't you think? And we find out she sent the hammer to the frozen wastelands where Loki lives. Sif then starts telling Thor, I know you are restless in this new role, and you think your best days are behind you, but you must not lose yourself in your quest to prove yourself still worthy. I know you are scared of the end. Thor interrupts saying, what? No, I am not afraid. Sif says, yes you are. I see everything, remember? Meanwhile, Loki sees if he could lift Mjolnir, as he thinks Odin's enchantment may have worn off. And for a second, he can. At least he thinks so, but that's only because Thor was calling it back to himself. At least that's how I'm interpreting it, because I haven't been reading all the Thor-related books, so I could be missing something. Anyway, when Thor finally gets his hammer back, Galactus says, I bore of your family squabbles. If you are finished in this place, I yet hunger. So Thor sends Sif and Bill home to Asgard, and Galactus says, are you ready? And Thor replies, not yet, and then proceeds to strike Galactus with lightning. As a big F you, I'm not doing this because I like you, I'm doing this to save the universe. Thor then takes Galactus to the remaining planets he must feed on to gain enough power to combat the Black Winter. When all said and done, Galactus says, there, it is done. Now we must act quickly. The winter is here, stay at my side. And Thor says, I know it had to be done, but that makes it no better. So know this, Galactus. When the winter is clear, you will answer for the people of Cairo, and for all the lives you have stolen before it. And Galactus just says, until then. And on the final page of the issue, we see Galactus and Thor stare upon the Black Winter, where Thor finally says, until then. And that, my friends, is issues 2 through 4 of Thor. This title is easily becoming one of my favorite titles. It's actually looking to dethrone Batman for me pretty soon. As you guys know, I'm really digging the James Tynion Batman right now. I'm just a big Batman fan in general, so my bias kind of shows a little bit for that. But man, this Donny Cates Thor run is quickly looking to dethrone that. It's just so much fun. Donny Cates has like some of the coolest concepts in comic books right now. I mean, who would have thought
it
that
proves
Thor was
that
gonna
Mjolnir is
shatter
the strongest
Stormbreaker
weapon.
over Mjolnir? That is
Like,
crazy. I could
Stormbreaker
literally
is
rant
just like
on and on how
the
much
way
I'm
Thor
enjoying this
just
book right
destroyed
now. But let me know what you
Stormbreaker
guys
is like,
think. Are you enjoying what
it's like
Donny
a
Cates is doing with
glass,
Thor?
just made out
Let us
of
know in the comment
glass.
section down below.
Yeah.
First up for the week of March 20.
So guys, what do you guys think of issues 2, 3, and 4?
Really good. I like the story and very badass moments.
Yeah,
So
there's
many
a lot.
badass moments there.
Yeah. So with that down, now let's go to the next issue, which is the final Thor battles the Black Winter.
Kitang taga Mindanao, abtik mo trabaho basta para sa pamilya. Sa lain-laing sakit sa abtik banat nga Rexidol Forte la. Abtik yun ang Rexidol Forte. Kontra sa bughat, pamaon, labad sa ulo o hilana. Ang madiskarte nga taga Mindanao, muasensog yun. Rexidol Forte, abtik banat sa upa.
Unilab yan.
Just chill. Chill. Inumang walang drama.
What's up, my comic comrades? Over the past few months, we've been following Donna Cade's Thor title from issue 1. And I've said it several times since then that this title has easily become one of my top 3 current favorite titles. Well, today we're going to continue talking about his series by breaking down issues 5 and 6, which obviously means there's going to be spoilers for the entirety of the Thor series thus far. So that's your warning. But before we dive in, we also want to thank Raid Shadow Legends for sponsoring today's episode. If you love Dark Fantasy, Raid Shadow Legends is the game you should be playing. It takes you to the Dark Fantasy world of Teleria, where
A lot
you
of
fight noble
people
kings
like
and
using
dark
this
wizards.
as their
Raid is free to
sponsor.
play, and you can
Raid
use
Shadow
our links in the
Legends, it's
description
like-
below
this
to
is like the
download
Mobile
Raid for
Legends
yourself
in
on your
US.
phone or PC
like,
now.
it's
Raid has a
29
crap ton of great
like every
features, but
YouTuber.
discovering the various factions is among the best in our opinion. I'm talking about the Banner Lords, the Sacred Order, and the Night Revenant. And of course, the favorite faction for Team Variant, the Dark Elves. Overall, there's literally hundreds of champions to collect, each with their own skill sets. But I really think what makes Raid stand out is the production quality and the incredible level of detail. That's because every single one of those Raid champions I just mentioned are fully animated with help from their in-house motion capture team. If you're not familiar with it, mocap is the technology that allows them to capture the real-life performances of the human actors, so they can get all those super fluid movements and attacks you see in the game. You can see it in everything from the way they hold their weapons to the way they stand and their fighting style. It's freaking awesome. Raid also just released a huge champion update, tweaking and rebalancing over 20 different champions to make PvP arena battles even more competitive. And if that's not enough, the Forge just came out, so
No,
now you
skip
can save
that, bro.
time and start crafting top quality artifacts. 100k silver, 50 gems, 10 mystery. Last episode in our Thor series covered issue 4. And at the end of the issue, Galactus and Thor, who's now Galactus' Herald of Thunder, were both left staring at the approaching Black Winter, ready for the battle of their lives. And we're going to pick up right from there. I don't know about you guys, but I'm pretty dang excited. Let's dive in. Issue 5 starts off with us taking a look at what's going down on Asgard as well as other places of the universe, while Thor and Galactus get ready to battle the Black Winter. The comic even says Lady Sif, Watcher of the Bifrost, witnesses her king being devoured by a great cosmic plague, unable to assist, unable to look away. We also see that Beta Ray Bill is whispering a prayer beneath a dying world tree. Then we see Loki from worlds away as he plots another turn of the wheel, not sure of the game just yet or the players. Then on the next page we see Sif tell Beta Ray Bill, I cannot see where Thor has gone, Bill. He will not allow me to open a bridge. He will not allow me to help him. He was always a foolish and bullheaded prince. I do not know why any of us thought a crown would change that. Bill replies, perhaps our fault lies in thinking that the crown ever could. Sif says, you defend him after everything he just did to you? Watch this episode right here to see what Sif's referring to. And let's just say Bill and Thor got into a pretty big fight. Anyway, Bill then replies to her, in my experience, anyone who wants to be a king should immediately be barred from becoming one. But he did not choose this, Sif. I have room enough in my heart to believe he will rise to it. I have to. Essentially, this is the calm before the storm. Quite literally. But I probably spoke too soon because on the next page, we are brought to the eye of the storm where Thor and Galactus are facing off against the Black Winter. Now, you may notice that Thor is blindfolded here, and that's because to look into the Black Winter is to witness your own fate, to see the form of your true death. Needless to say, that could mess with someone just a little bit, so Thor has to fight the Black Winter blindfolded as not to see the form of his true death. As Thor and Galactus continue to fight the Black Winter, Thor hears something he has never heard before, but recognizes it immediately. The sound of the end. The last choking breath of the universe. The voice of the All-Death. I don't know about you guys, but I am so into this. That is dope. The Black Winter then says to Thor, God of Thunder, King of Asgard, and Galactus says, do not listen. Fight. Push it back, Odin's son. But the Black Winter continues to say, calm yourself, Galen. I'll be with you in a moment. I've waited long enough. Your little god herald intrigues me. As the Black Winter continues to talk, he says, Thor, the All Butcher, the End God. And Thor yells back at the Black Winter saying, you are mistaken. I have never worn such titles, but if it's an end you crave, then so. And the Black Winter interrupts, shooting a blast at Thor saying, welcome. Do you want to see how you die, Thor? Then the Black Winter continues to consume Galactus while Thor is still trying to hold it off. While all this is happening, captions in the comic tell us, the Star Plague, the Rock Blizzard, the Great Black Winter. It dissolves all that crosses its path. Its hunger, its incessant will to end, infecting the light within, be it sun, galaxy, or man. From the center it burrows, from below it devours, all that there is, it corrodes. As Thor fights it off saying, I will not fall. But as Thor says this, he looks into the Black Winter as it's trying to consume him, saying, mind, body, soul. And just like that, Thor is taken to a mysterious place with blacked out eyes saying, where am I? The Black Winter then tells Thor, I asked you a question, End God, referring to when he asked him, do you want to see how you die? But Thor just responds, where are you? Face me. The Winter replies, you are facing me, but you cannot defeat me, Thor. You must know this. I offer you a gift, the truth. Thor screams back, what truth is this? What truth is there to be gained from one who speaks from the shadows and uses illusions to hide? I am not afraid of you. I am not afraid of the end. Do you hear me? And the Black Winter replies, good, because the end isn't afraid of you either, as the Black Winter throws Thor into a pillar. And when Thor gets up, he sees Gore the God Butcher staring at him. And Thor says, this can't be real. He then sees Loki and several other characters he's faced off against over the years. All while the Black Winter says, do you see it, Thor? This is it. This is how you die. Thor then attacks all of these illusions with his hammer, while the Black Winter continues to say, or perhaps it would be. You have had so many ends, haven't you, Odin's son? The Beyonder, the Serpent, Ragnarok, Annihilus, burned, atomized, crucified, unmade. And then you have ultimately what was supposed to be your true end, sacrificing yourself to bring lightning to the darkness at the end of time, one-armed, one-eyed, back-to-back with your brother against the Butcher. But guess what? The winds have changed, Thunder God. Someone is killing your destiny, breaking your fate. You can feel it. Do you see it? Would you want me to show you how it all ends? How it truly ends? And while the Black Winter is saying this, Thor is desperately trying to fight it off. The comic then tells us the Winter speaks, and Thor knows in his bones that it speaks the truth. He has felt the change in the air since he's ascended to the throne. He's felt it in the echoes, in the thunder, in the weight of his hammer. Something is wrong. Something is broken. At this point, Thor is incredibly pissed off and fed up. So the king of Asgard channels the ancient rage of all the gods before him, and with a scream, he pleads with Mjolnir to help him push away the end one last time. And what came next is known as the God Blast. And if the Black Winter truly cannot be stopped, if it cannot be killed, then Thor will die this day knowing that the storm will not soon forget the day he made it bleed. After Thor disperses the Black Winter with his God Blast, he says, are you still with me, Galactus? And he replies, until it is done. Thor then says, aye. Thor then starts talking to the Black Winter again, saying, why don't you stop hiding and show yourself? Show me my end, then see if the Odin son blinks. The Winter responds, very well, I will show you the end, but not yours, Thor, not yet, as the Black Winter takes the form of Thor. Thor then says to Galactus, is this what you saw then when you looked into the Winter Gallon? And Galactus replies, it is. Meaning that Thor is the one who ultimately kills Galactus. What, bro? But the Black Winter says, but that's not what you saw the first time, is it, Galen? Why don't you tell him why you alone survived the death of your universe? Tell him why. Thor then starts to rage out again, saying, I've had enough of your talk. Whatever has passed, and no matter what you say is yet to come, I am here to say no more. You will not have my universe. Nothing dies today. And the Black Winter responds, oh, is that what he's told you, Thor? I am not here to consume your universe. Your world has darker fates than me, I'm afraid. Thor, confused, then says, what? I don't get it. Why are you here? And Galactus is like, Thor, he lies. Do not listen. That's right, friends. If there was ever a mic drop moment, this is one of them right here, because we find out that Galactus is a herald himself. But not only that, he's the herald of the Black Winter. What is happening? And I had to wait a whole month, 30 days to get issue 6 to see how this continues. And you guys are getting it right now. But anyway, let's get into it. Issue 6. Issue 6 starts off in the near future in the Golden City of Asgard, in the throne room of King Thor. We see Norrin, aka Silver Surfer Black, hovering into Thor's throne room. Thor then says, Norrin, while lifting a glass of ale in the air, and Surfer replies, Thor, I apologize for my interruption. I came as soon as I heard. Are you? And Thor interrupts saying, tired, drunk, immensely. What is it I could do for you? What is it you think you've heard? Surfer replies, the battle. There are few in the galaxy who did not feel its effects. Your thunder roaring through the vacuum. Also the Bifrost. One cannot help but note the new additions to the architecture. Thor replies, yes, that. It seemed fitting, as he starts drinking more ale. Surfer says, Sif tells me you've been in isolation for months now, that you have not spoken of the battle. It was my hope that I may be of service, as one who has been where you have been, who has seen what you have seen. And Thor interrupts saying, no one has seen what I have seen, Norrin. It is mine to carry, alone. And now this is where the real fun starts in this issue, friends. The comic then picks up from exactly where issue 5 left off, with Galactus telling the Black Winter, you lie. I am not your herald. The Winter replies, I never lie, Galen. I made you a promise all those eons ago. I spare you, you serve me. It is you who lie. You have been running from your fate. I have searched for you for eons, Galen, and I find you here hiding in this doomed universe. I gave you power beyond imagination, and now I have come to collect, as the Black Winter hits Galactus into the moon. That's right, the moon. Galactus then looks up at Thor saying, Thor, quickly, while the Black Winter is in this form, we must, but Thor just strikes Galactus with lightning saying, stay down. Galactus looks at Thor and says, you would strike me? How dare you? We are all that stands between the Black Winter and the universe. Thor says, wrong. I am all that stands between the winter and you, and I am not done with you. Not yet. Galactus responds, so be it, as he blasts Thor with the power cosmic. Galactus then starts yelling, I am more powerful than I have ever been, little god. You have never faced such power. But Thor is able to hold Galactus' blast at bay with Mjolnir, responding, power I allowed you to have. Power you have stolen. You have lied. Played me like a pawn in a battle I did not begin. I am the son of Odin, king of Asgard, ruler of the 10 realms, god of thunder and the storm. And you are the errand boy of a hailstorm. Do I really have to explain why that's so awesome? Anyway, he follows up this insult by blasting Galactus back with his own power. After which Galactus says, my power. And Thor tells him, I have taken it, as I have taken the power cosmic held inside of your shell before. We need to pause again. Thor just stripped Galactus of his power. The power cosmic. Okay? I just need to emphasize that. Let's continue. Galactus then says, but the winter, Thor, we must defeat. And Thor interrupts him saying, I will deal with it. You will not survive the fight. I have no need for you. Save your power. If the winter wants you, and Galactus interrupts saying, no, Galactus will destroy you, while raising his hand to fire at Thor. But Thor just fires back with his thunder and lightning while finishing his previous sentence saying, then it will have you. Thor then continues his attack on Galactus saying, Gallon of Tal, on behalf of the countless planets you have destroyed and laid barren in your waste, for Corbin, for Zenla, for Earth, for Asgard, I sentence you to death, as he chucks his hammer into Galactus' chest like a cosmic-powered Roger Clemens. We then see a corpse-looking powerless Galactus saying to Thor, you have no idea what you've done. And I just gotta say, I personally don't recall ever seeing Galactus beaten down this much and this outmatched. It is utterly insane. I mean, the guy is called the Devourer of Worlds. He literally eats planets. I'm just trying to wrap my head around this. But anyway, as we're looking at this beaten down Galactus, the comic says, and then on a nameless and barren moon, far beyond the fields we know, the Devourer's shadow fell long under the burning cosmic fire of Thor, god of thunder, king of Asgard, herald of none, aka Thor is nobody's bitch. The Black Winter then comes down saying, you have my gratitude, Odin's son. Now move aside. I will take Gallon and leave your universe to its own fate. But Thor responds, you will take nothing. The Black Winter says, do not test me, Odin's son. My fight is not with you or your doomed universe. I'll have what is mine. Galactus is no use to you. Thor says, nay, Galactus serves me yet. And the Black Winter responds, as what? A trophy? A slave? What would you have Galactus, the World Eater, serve you as, little god? Tell me. Thor then lifts up Mjolnir and says, a bomb. As captions in the comic tell us, galaxies away, children wake up screaming to the sound of thunder, its voice heard and crashing into the void, and then behind it, screaming in the darkness, there was lightning, and burning inside of it the full might of the immeasurable power cosmic, the bleeding life force of the universal constant, the energy of 100,000 of our worlds, all of it unleashed by a god-made king. That's right, Thor just used Galactus as an immeasurable cosmic bomb to kill the Black Winter. I literally got nothing. I'm speechless. This also fulfilled a prophecy that Thor would in fact be the one to kill Galactus. Anyway, after Thor uses Galactus as a bomb to kill the Black Winter, the comic says, in the falling ash of winter, amid the graveyard of the World Destroyer, there was Thor in the end of everything. As we see the only ash left of the Black Winter fall into Thor's hand. And before the ash disintegrates, it says to Thor, you have won nothing. Your end cannot be stopped. It is coming. But before I am no more, do you want to see it? How you will die? And Thor says, yes. So the Black Winter shows him before his final ash withers away. We are then taken to present time where we see that Thor has taken Galactus' helmet But I must ask, when you looked into the Black Winter and it showed you your one true end, what did it show you? Thor then answers, I saw, and then on the next page, we get a full page spread of Thanos holding Mjolnir with the Infinity Gems imbued in it, as well as seemingly having his son Thane's left arm, or gauntlet, which has the ability to change the very economics of existence, as said by Ebony Maw. It could also be maybe some kind of anti-symbiote tech, we don't really know yet, but to me, it looks like his son Thane's left arm. But if Mjolnir imbued with the Infinity Gems and a death gauntlet of sorts wasn't enough, he also has what appears to be the Marvel zombies behind him as an army. Then on the final page of the issue, we cut back to Thor sitting on his throne with fear and concern in his eye, finishing his sentence saying, "I saw darkness and nothing more." I don't know what else to say, guys. I've been saying it throughout the entire episode. This issue was phenomenal. I thoroughly enjoyed it. The last time I enjoyed an issue this much that I remember was Doomsday Clock issue 12, and you guys know how much I love that issue. Easiest way to sum it up is this issue is a 10 out of 10 for me. I don't have a single complaint. So do yourself a favor, even though you just watch me talk about this issue, go read it for yourself. Heck, go read all 6 issues of the Thor run because it's great, and you'll get every piece of dialogue and all the little nuances for yourself. I really don't have a bad thing to say about this title. It is literally my favorite comic book currently coming out every month.
First up for our buy list for the...
Whoa. Wow. Wow. What do you guys think? That was like one of the best issues ever. Like Thor became, like, I think, more powerful as Superman.
Yeah.
Beautiful issue.
It's like he single-handedly just like killed Galactus. It's like, yeah, he's right. I've never seen Galactus this beaten throughout his whole like comic book history. What do you guys think of the issues?
Speechless.
Beautiful. Those are beautiful.
So cool.
That was beautiful, right?
Yeah.
That was amazing. Yeah, so that ends the Thor. It became the new herald of, that gets the cosmic power, and finishes everything. So, guys, you have anything to say?
Nothing else. I think we should just end it here. So that's all. Thank you for listening
That's
and
all.
watching.
Thanks. That's all, guys. Thank you for everything.
Thank you
Thank you
for
for watching.
Peace out.
The next, what will be like the next video?
Maybe
I would recommend the Thanos run.
Okay,
Alright, let's do that. Let's do that in the
Okay.
next one.
That's all.
Peace
Bye.
off, guys.
Peace out.
Peace
Bye.
out.
Peace. Peace in the Middle East.